Thanks for joining us again on the newsroom. The federal government has kicked off the Special Public Works Program, which was earlier suspended by the National Assembly. The government announced the takeoff via its official Twitter handle on Tuesday. This is despite an order by the Senate that the program should be suspended. The program, which is coordinated by the Ministry of Labour and Employment, was approved by President Muhammadu Buhari as part of the fiscal stimulus measures in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. A total of 1,000 Nigerians from each of the 774 local government areas will be engaged in the program, coordinated by the constituted state committees. The Senate has passed a bill which prescribes life jail sentence as against the current 10 years maximum sentence for kidnappers. The bill contains amendments to the criminal code, which is currently in operation in the southern part of Nigeria. The proposed legislation, sponsored by Senator Oluremi Tinubu, seeks to delete the status of limitation on defilement, increase punishment for the offense of kidnapping, and remove gender restrictions in the offense of rape and other related matters. The bill also eliminates time frame for prosecuting defilement cases by increasing the period from 2 months to as many years as the victims decide to take up the matter. Meanwhile, a former senator representing Northern Taraba, Ambono Zik Sunday, has been kidnapped. Also kidnapped was the cleric of the Taraba State Police Command Mosque, Mohammed Nuhu. The former lawmaker was abducted in his hometown of Bachama community in Karim Lamido local government area of Taraba State yesterday while paying homage to his people. Nuhu, on the other hand, was kidnapped from his house in Jalingo in the early hours of Monday. The police public relations officer David Misal made the disclosure at the police command office in Jalingo while presenting a cache of arms recovered from suspected bandits and parading some tricycle thieves. He noted that efforts are in top gear to rescue the lawmaker and the cleric. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by Timi Alaibe challenging the emergence of Governor Duridiri as the flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party in the 2019 governorship elections in Bayelsa. Alaibe, who had lost the suit at both the Federal High Court in Owerri and the Port Division of the Court of Appeal, had in the suit challenged the participation of 2 delegates who voted in the primary that produced Diri as the party's candidate. Ruling on the matter on Tuesday, a 5-man panel of the Apex Court, led by Justice Olabode Rhodes-Vivo, dismissed the appeal. In the preliminary inquiry preceding the hearing, the Justice Rhodes-Vivo panel informed the plaintiff that his case should not be categorized as a pre-election matter that the court could entertain, but about an internal affair of the party which the court lacked jurisdiction to hear. The appeal court has also struck out a suit challenging the legality of virtual court proceedings. In the matter filed by the Ekiti State Attorney General, the Ekiti State General had asked the court to determine if the conduct of virtual proceedings in court is not a violation of the federalism provisions of the 1999 Constitution and a violation of the constitutional provisions of fair hearing as it relates to the conduct of criminal trials in public. But in a unanimous judgment on Tuesday, Justice Olabode Rhodes-Vivo declared that as at today, virtual court sittings are not unconstitutional. The issue of the constitutionality or otherwise of remote or virtual court hearing has dominated national discussions since the publication of the guidelines of the NJC, which recommends virtual court proceedings for courts in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's take a break here and we'll be right back. Please stay with us. After spending 2 weeks in isolation, Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa says he and his family have all recovered from COVID-19. Okowa shared the news of his recovery via his Twitter handle on Tuesday. The governor and his wife had tested positive for the novel coronavirus about 5 days after their daughter contracted the disease. In his Twitter message on Monday, Okowa also appealed to residents of Delta to abide by all guidelines aimed at curbing the spread of the virus. The National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools are making an appeal to the federal government to review its stand on the suspension of 2020 public examinations. In a statement on Monday, representative of the body, Yomi Odubela, said there's a need to save the image of Nigeria by allowing students sit for the examinations. According to him, the consequence of suspending the exams will be that students will be forced to write them in neighboring countries such as Ghana. Odubela also noted that private schools under NAPPS are ready to resume classes while strictly complying with the safety protocols prescribed by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. Now, as school owners are clamoring to reopen and allow students to sit for national examinations, the World Health Organization has issued a warning against the move. Dr. Michael Ryan, emergencies chief of the global health body, stated that the reopening of schools should be made without political considerations. He said schools should not be turned into another political football, as it would not be fair on the health and safety of children.
Children will be exposed to that virus, and children will be part of the transmission cycle. They will be exposed, some will be infected, and they may infect others. What we don't fully understand is the impact on those children in the long term. We know in the short term they tend to have milder infections. We don't know the impact in the long term, and we don't know to what extent they pass that infection on and infect others. But we do know that that can happen. Yes, there is an issue around how much and to what extent children participate in transmission. There are real issues around how schools can be reopened safely, but the best and safest way to reopen schools is in the context of low community transmission that has been effectively suppressed by a broad-based, comprehensive strategy. We can't move from let's deal with the schools and then we all deal with that for a week or two and then let's deal with the workplace or then let's deal with infection in hospitals or long-term care facilities. This is playing whack-a-mole. We have got to focus on a comprehensive, long-term strategy that focuses on everything at one time. We've got to chew gum and walk at the same time, and we keep pulling ourselves down various rabbit holes. Schools are a hugely important part of this. They're a hugely important part of our social, educational architecture. They're the baseline of our civilization. But we can't turn schools into yet another political football in this game. It's not fair on our children. So we have to look at this carefully in the light of the transmission in any given country or any given setting, and we have to make decisions that are based on the best interests of our children, be it their educational or their health interest. And that must be based on data. That must be based on understanding the risks in the specific setting in which schools are.
NBA star Russell Westbrook says he's tested positive for COVID-19 as the league gears up for its return in Florida later this month. In a statement released on Monday, Westbrook said he was feeling well and was in isolation. He's one of the several NBA players who have tested positive for COVID-19, joining a list which includes Brooklyn's Kevin Durant, Boston's Marcus Smart, and Utah Jazz duo Robbie Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Let's take a break here to bring you updates on business after this.
Trade is a force for good. I've seen it with my own eyes. Its ability to improve millions and millions of lives. I spent my life working with teams around the world to deliver reforms, broker agreements, improve systems, fight corruption, and empower economies. Coronavirus has changed the face of the global economy and left many countries facing difficult choices. This is a critical moment for world trade, and the WTO has a vital role to play. It's time to come together. It's time for the WTO to listen to its members, seek common ground, hunt for solutions, rebuild trust, and return to its founding mission. My name is Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and I'm the woman for this job. I want to bring a fresh pair of eyes and ears to the WTO and make it fit to thrive for the 21st century.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
From the 1st of August, banks will be able to debit the account of loan holders in other banks to settle defaults. This is according to Global Standing Instruction Guidelines published by the Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday. The CBN said the GSI, which was developed in collaboration with stakeholders, should be the last resort used by banks to settle loan defaults. The Apex Bank said the directive would apply to eligible loans granted from August 28, 2019. According to the guidelines, the account types that the standing instruction can be applied to include individual and joint savings accounts, current accounts, domiciliary accounts, investments deposit accounts, naira and foreign currency, and electronic wallets. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been a spread of Ebola outbreak in Western Democratic Republic of Congo, and that's with 50 new cases recently reported across a large region bordering the country and Central African Republic. Executive Director of the World Health Organization, Mike Ryan, said 48 cases have been confirmed in Ecuador province, with a further 3 probable cases and a total of 20 deaths since authorities announced the outbreak on June 1st.
As of the 12th of July, we've had 48 confirmed cases and 3 probable cases reported from Ecuador province in north western DRC. We've had 17 deaths of confirmed cases and the three deaths of the 3 probable cases, 11 survivors. We've had 21 affected health areas in 6 health zones in Ecuador. And that does, while the numbers are low, that does represent a broad geographic extent of the virus, and that is of a concern. While the numbers are quite low in each health zone, any one of those individual cases can result in amplification of disease. In terms of the areas that are affected, there are 5 zones that we've had cases in the last 21 days, and most of the zones, in fact, have had a case in the last 7 to 10 days. So we're still within that incubation period for another wave of cases in the zones of Bikoro, in Balomba, in Eboko, in Lutumbe, and in Bandaka itself.
Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has criticised the decision to overturn Manchester City's European ban. He says it was not a good day for football, reiterating the support for financial fair play. Jose Mourinho, on his part, has labelled the decision a disaster. City were cleared to play in the Champions League next season after their 2-year ban from European football was lifted by the Courts of Arbitration for Sports on Monday. Klopp believes the decision could work in Liverpool's favour next season, with City competing on 4 fronts, but says the ruling could have a negative impact on football as a whole. And that's it on the newsroom at this time. I am Annetta Felix. Many thanks for watching.